right, sir. Of course.
I think the Inquisition could benefit from this.
Nothing to report, sir.
Good fun.
better.
Welcome back.
May I help you?
I found some of the herbs you were looking for.
This is exactly what I needed.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much. A pleasure to see you again.
I found some of the herbs you were looking for.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you so much for your... A pleasure to see you again.
I found some of the herbs you were looking for.
With this, I'm certain I can save more lives.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for your help.
I suppose you're right.
Could be better.
Good day. If you say so. Well, let me know if you find one. Thank you. Good day.
We all did.
Good day.
I'm pleased to hear it.
It's just what I heard. Thank you. It's just what I heard. I'll ask around again tomorrow. Well, let me know if you find one. Good day. I do not suppose you found my Senna's shrine. I know it is a long way to go.
I cleaned Senna's shrine and placed the flowers. May her ashes be gathered by Falondine and carried safely.
After all the long years she carried me, thank you. You do a foolish old man too much kindness. Thank you, friend. May your Inquisition do as much good for the land as you have done for me.
look around.
The history of the Grey Wardens is fascinating. Excellent.
Travel safely.
Will Master trend the new blade should... Good. serve you well. It's fine. Another time, Ed. Right. Another... time, then. Right. Right. Should serve you well. Should serve you well. Should serve you well.
Heard you found something that had to do with wardens. Would have liked to have seen it. I've been meaning to thank you. There are 100 things that need your attention. You didn't have to take the time to help me, and yet you did.
If the history you pursue benefits the Wardens, then it was worth it.
You've proven yourself to be an honorable woman. Principled. I've great admiration for you. And I've never been more certain in my decision to join you.
There will be opportunities for us to do even more in the future.
Then I look forward to it.
I want to hear more about you.
Compared to yours, my life will seem dull indeed.
Your name, Blackwall, doesn't sound Orlesian. Marcher, then. Ferelden.
I was from the Free Marchers originally. Markham. That was a long time ago. Another life.
I hear that many Wardens were once criminals.
You're right. When you join, your past is forgotten, so let's leave it that way.
What did you do before you became a Warden?
I was a soldier, a nobody trained to wield a sword and follow orders. I grew weary of fighting other men's wars.
So you became a Warden?
More or less. Becoming a Grey Warden was the first time I felt like I mattered. The life I led before seems hollow in comparison. Perhaps one day it will fade away.
Why did you join the Wardens?
Because they remember honor and sacrifice. Words that have little meaning to the rest of us. Because they lay down their lives for those they have sworn to protect. We all need to believe there are such men in the world. I needed to believe I could be one of them.
We can continue this discussion at another time.
Very well.
We'll need some...
And how much is Mother Giselle willing to offer?
Can you really put a price on the love of Andres? Make her be with you.
Yes?
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
You must have an opinion of the Templars after living so long in the Circle.
Having opinions about Templars, my dear, is exactly like having opinions about mages or Navarrans or men. I have known some who were impossible to endure and some who were utterly charming. I have suffered insults at the hands of those in the armor, but no more than I endured from nobles or tradesmen in Val Royal. Personally, I have found the Templars a useful tool, skilled at keeping more unpleasant elements at bay.
If the Circle disbanded, how can you still belong to it?
The Circle is an idea, my dear, and an idea cannot be dissolved. Many of the first enchanters voted for rebellion, caring little that anything short of a unanimous decision would pit mage against mage. Rather than dissolving it, Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the Circle in two. The rebels follow her, the loyalists follow me.
If you led all the Loyalists, why are you only First Enchanter and not Grand Enchanter?
Grand Enchanters are elected, and since there are no First Enchanters besides myself, no vote can be held. I could name myself Grand Enchanter, but the title holds no meaning now. When the circles are restored, that will change.
What was it like to live in a Circle?
My dear, your question is the root of all problems with mages. I cannot tell you. Every circle was different. Their Templars were different, their politics unique. And every person within each tower had an experience of circle life unique to themselves. Some people suffered and some were content. Some were cruel, some compassionate, and some indifferent. The same is true of people everywhere, in all circumstances, whether they are mages or not.
So tell me about your personal experience with the Circle.
I enjoyed life in the Montsimard Circle, my dear. It was an edifice devoted to knowledge and refinement. And mages need the company of other mages. No one else can truly understand the challenges we face, nor see the world as we do.
You must have been under constant supervision, being forced by Templars to live in the tower. Was that hard to endure?
My dear, I have a suite in the palace and a wing at my dear Duke Bastien's estate. I have never been forced to live anywhere. Most circles allowed mages to live away from the tower, either on their own or in service to the nobility. All that was required was permission from the first enchanter. Some circles were harsher in their restrictions. Kirkwall was the worst, but it was the exception. Most were quite permissive, perhaps too permissive in retrospect.
How did we come to this state with the Circles in revolt?
A failure of perspective that infected Circle leadership. Mages lived solely in a world of Templars and mages. They could not even imagine what was beyond the tower walls. Kirkwall gave the world a reason to remember its fear of magic. A mage killed hundreds with a snap of their fingers. Across Thedas, a new tangible fear of magic grew. Commoners and nobles alike called out to the Chantry for protection. But the malcontents in the towers thought nothing of this. They cared only for themselves and for their anger at the new Templar restrictions. When a mage attempted to assassinate Divine Justinia, again, the mages protested the investigation. The leadership chose to vote on independence based on the intolerable conditions imposed by the Templars, sparing no thought to the fact that magic was more feared in the aftermath of these attacks than it had been since Tevinter's day. So long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
Did they have cause to rebel?
In the aftermath of their terrorist attacks? Was that really the most opportune time to break away? By all means protest abuses by the Templars. Just don't do it in a way that says mages support wholesale murder. By voting when they did, my colleagues all but declared war upon the ordinary people of Thedas. A war in which we are outnumbered 100 to 1.
Are you familiar with Grand Enchanter Fiona?
We've met. Before her horrendously ill-timed and selfish vote for independence, I thought her adequate at her job. In her dotage, she could not handle looking after the well-being of so many people. We would have done better to replace her years ago, to let her spend time gardening.
I thought the fighting was only between mages and Templars. Why are mages fighting mages?
The vote for independence was carried by only a small margin, but Fiona chose to let the motion stand. Those who opposed a rash declaration of war against the entire free world had little choice. By breaking from the Chantry when they did, the rebels declared themselves in support of mass murder. Anyone who did not wish to support terrorism and the slaughter of innocents was forced to take arms against the rebels.
More healing drafts for you, revered one.
Tell Segret I've received permission to sell him a few things. Let's see what we have.
The Templars must help us close the breach. The Order was founded to fight magic.
We must first convince the Lord Seeker to bring the Templars out of exile.
We've received word from a knight recruit. They gather at Theronfall Redoubt.
It has been vacant for decades. Why go there?
We must approach the Lord Seeker again to get anywhere. We can ask him then.
The Lord Seeker made it clear he isn't interested in anyone unimportant.
So we must change how he sees us, no?
If it's status the Lord Seeker seeks, the Inquisition will approach him after allying with the noblest houses in Orlais.
They'll come with us to Theronfall and demand the Templars' help close the breach.
You believe that will work?
Even the Lord Seeker would find it difficult to ignore so many nobles on his doorstep.
Yes, especially when led by the Herald of Andraste.
Is it my good looks you need, or my winning smile?
Rumors you were saved from the fate by Andraste have grown legion among the Templars.
We've done our part to encourage them.
A herald with a few companions may be dismissed, easily set aside. That same herald returning with noble support will be reconsidered, as will the power of the Inquisition.
Isn't there the slightest chance the Lord Seeker will see my arrival as a threat?
Before, I would have thought he was a man of reason. Now, I could not say.
With respect, after his appearance in Val Royeaux, hang what the Lord Seeker thinks.
We do not need the Lord Seeker. We need his Templars, with or without his approval. The breach will not wait for our differences to settle.
Good news. Several noble or legion houses will petition the Templars to help us stop the breach. Lord Dabernash will approach you. Sign nothing he offers, but his gossip's reliable.
I hope he knows the Lord Seeker's mood. The Templars will never help without his consent.
The Herald of Andraste. Lord Esmeralda Abernash, honored to participate. It is not unlike the second dispersal of the reclaimed Dales. Nothing. I'd heard a Trevelyan or two took up the cause there. The Lord Seeker is willing to hear our petition about closing the breach. A credit to our alliance with the Inquisition. Care to mark the moment? 10 Orlesian houses walk with you.
The Inquisition values this alliance, Lord Abernash. The Templars must see reason. We can't let the breach endanger us any longer.
Oh yes, ghastly-looking thing. The Lord Seeker can't think we're ignoring it. Speaking of which, I don't suppose you'd divulge what finally got their attention. Rumor will, if you won't.
What do you mean?
The Lord Seeker won't meet us until he greets the Inquisition in person. Quite a surprise after the spat in Val Royaux.
The Lord Seeker may not be singling the Inquisition out for praise, Lord Abernash.
A meeting is a meeting. Get his ear. See if you can't bend it to do something advantageous. Here we are. Verinfall Redoubt.
Oh, it screams, I hate fun and kick puppies, doesn't it?
It appears they've sent someone to greet you. Present well. Everyone is a little tense for my liking.
The Inquisition's reach is increasing. Impressive.
The Lord Seeker changed his mind about us rather quickly. Is he known for that?
Perhaps he has a plan for us.
Have you looked at the sky, Sir Knight?
Of course, but
Is your ordinance drawn to destroy heretical magic?
excuse me, Lady,
Countess Dover.
Countess, ma'am. Is it true that the Herald of Andraste is coming? Is she here already?
I was waiting for spontaneous flattery, but I suppose the game is up.
You mean you're... Oh, welcome. I'm sure these lords and ladies are more suitable to your company, Lady Trevelyan.
I present Knight Templar, Sir Delrin Barris, second son of Ban Jevrin Barris of Ferelden. Sir Barris, may I be so honored as to present Lord Esmeralda Abernash?
I'm the one who sent word to Cullen. He said the Inquisition works to close this breach in the Vale. I didn't think you'd bring such lofty company.
Barris. Moderate holdings, your family. And the second son?
This promise of status has garnered interest from the Lord Seeker. Beyond sense. The sky burns with magic, but he ignores all calls to action until your friends arrive.
Should a Seeker lead the Templars this way?
In an emergency, if there's no other recourse. But his goal should be to restore them to order.
He has taken command. Permanently.
If he feels there is a holy mandate.
That is what the Lord Seeker claims, and our commanders parrot him. The Lord Seeker's actions make no sense. He promised to restore the Order's honor, then marched us here to wait. Templars should know their duty, even when held from it.
How refreshing to meet a Templar who remembers his charge.
Win over the Lord Seeker, and every able-bodied knight will help the Inquisition seal the breach.
That's why the Inquisition came, Sir Barris.
I'd tell you your chances, but the officers are a mystery lately. We've been asked to accept much after that shameful display in Valroyo. Our truth changes on the hour.
Don't keep your betters waiting, Barris. There's important work for those born to it.
The Lord Seeker has a request before you meet him. These are the standards. An honored right centered on the people, the Maker, and the Order. The Lord Seeker asks that you perform the rite so he may see the order in which you honor them.
What if I fail?
Well, there's no correct answer. The ritual simply shows Watchers who you are and what you value.
We'd be honored, if that's what the Lord Seeker asks of the Inquisition.
Not the Inquisition. The Lord Seeker changed everything to meet you. Not the Inquisition. You. By name.
Why?
I don't know. He's been fixated on you ever since your horde of nobles arrived.
The Lord Seeker makes us shuffle flags around. Refuse! Let's meet the man already.
We'll complete the ritual as the Lord Seeker requests.
When you've completed the rite, I'll take you to him. Once you finish the standards, the Lord Seeker will see you, Herald.
Hang your own draperies, knight. We've business to conduct. What does the Lord Seeker want to see, Templar?
The Herald's choice, not yours.
He's welcome to it.
Standards are for Templars, not some upstart order.
Chantry and Andraste, Bride of the Maker, Lady of Light.
Why does the Lord Seeker insist the Inquisition's messenger perform the standards?
Traditionally, a participant in the rite now explains their choices to those assembled.
Those are my choices. The rest is my own affair.
It's rather not. I'll not be shut out of any explanation these clods understand, if we're bringing them to heel.
I suppose those are your intentions.
My intent is to deal with people who matter. You helmed louts are wasting the Inquisition's time, and my time. Unacceptable!
The Lord Seeker awaits you both. Follow me.
Misty again. Cold today, too.
You're the one who said following the Lord Seeker would bring us to a better place.
Should we have stayed with the Chantry? They're like chickens with their heads cut off.
I'm still waiting for the Lord Seeker to reveal his grand plan for the Order.
Honored to make your acquaintance, Lady Trevelyan. I'm thrilled to see the Inquisition send someone of proper blood to represent its cause.